If you don't have confidence, pretend you do for a bit and see. You see, confidence is not what you think it is. Most people believe confidence is something you either have or you don't have. But here's the truth. Confidence is not an emotion. It is a byproduct of action. Think about it. Were you confident the first time you learned to drive a car? No, but you did it anyway. Now you don't even have to think about it. You see, confidence doesn't show up before you take action. It is something you build while taking action. Here's a better way to put it. You don't become confident to act. You act to become confident. Confidence is a self-fulfilling prophecy. Studies have shown that people who act confident are perceived to be more competent, even when they are not. Meanwhile, skilled people who doubt themselves are often overlooked. Let me show you a study by Amy Cuddy from Harvard University. The study says if you hold a strong posture for 2 minutes, it will increase testosterone, that's the dominance hormone, and then lower cortisol, which is the stress hormone. In layman's terms, what the study is saying is that your body and your posture tell your brain how to feel. So you don't wait for confidence, you create it. Confidence is a very vital skill. You see, a lot of times competence closes the deal, but confidence gets you into the room in the first place. People invest in your belief before they invest in your skill. So pretend for a week. Speak like someone who belongs in the room. Walk like someone who commands respect. Act like you believe in yourself even if you don't. Then watch what happens. Because at some point, I guarantee you won't be pretending anymore. Look, let me be very honest with you. Fear doesn't go away. What happens is that at some point, you just stop listening to it. Do you know that stagnation can be an illusion? If you are standing still while the world moves forward, you're actually moving backwards. Think about it. It's like standing on an escalator that is moving in reverse. You think you're standing in one spot and stationary, but in reality, you're being dragged back. Meaning you don't actually have to regress, if that makes any sense. You just have to stop moving while others move forward. Walk with me. If you keep the same skills while the industry evolves, you are now outdated. If you keep the same mindset while the world changes, you are now irrelevant. If you keep the same habits while your peers improve, you are now behind. You could be very skilled at using the typewriter, but if the world switches to computers and you stayed proficient and skilled at using the typewriter, you will soon be jobless. Time doesn't have a neutral gear. It either advances or leaves you behind. The great Witoade Soji at the Praxa Summit talked about how mediocrity can creep up on you without you knowing. Mediocrity is not a decision people set out to make. It is the default setting when you stop improving. I recommend that you read up on Steve Bartlett's 1% principle. It is not enough to be consistent. We must also focus on making small, consistent improvements in order to achieve significant results over time. Again, compound interest. That's probably all I talk about these days. Every time you choose comfort over challenge, you are making a down payment on regret. Yesterday's excellence is today's average. Today's average is tomorrow's irrelevance. There is a dimension of success that is dangerous. Sometimes your past victories can blind you more than your past failures. What made you win yesterday might be what holds you back tomorrow. I've learned through experience that failure forces you to reinvent, but success often prevents reinvention. It worked the last time, so it'll work this time, you know? I really quizzed myself about this. After all, if it's not broken, why fix it, right? But things became clearer to me when I reached a staggering realization. And here it is. Success is not a destination. It is a moving target. Content creators know about this so well. You iterate and create a reel that goes viral. Tomorrow you apply the same process and variables to another video and it barely moves. And then you start to wonder. But if you continue to evolve and try out new models, you start to figure out what guarantees a steady, significant level of viewership, as opposed to sticking to one particular routine because it gives you a viral moment. You know, sometimes I think of Nokia. They have 51% of the global mobile market. iPhone launched, Nokia laughed it off. By 2013, they were finished. Their CEO said something interesting. He said, "We didn't do anything wrong, but somehow we lost." But they did do something wrong. They let past success blind them to future changes. Your past should be a reference, not a residence. Your past wins are meant to fuel your future, not freeze you in place. If you're not learning, growing, and adapting, your biggest enemy is not failure, it is comfort. So ask yourself, what skill, habit, or mindset have you stopped sharpening? Because if you don't update your mindset, life will uninstall you. I want you to listen closely to this. Where you should go will always be challenged by where you are on the instruction of where you've been.